Hey, good morning. Yeah, it's shaking. We're starting nice, we're getting fiery. Yeah, Morning to the Lab is kicking off the next loop. Middle of January. Marty, it's June. Yeah, January as we'd call it. Listen, guys, we're going to crack the myth on the post-workout ice bath fail. Could that polar plunge be freezing your gains instead of fueling them? We're going to talk about that today. Melted and limbered, the sprint straight into the morning loop. We're going to talk about the Train for 100, the Stealth Life Decathlon you've already entered. If you plan on wrestling grandkids at 90, from there we're going to spotlight savings on our accountability check-in. The roll call for wins, slips, and savage honesty, no matter what rides the bench in silence. Accountability clears the deck for center stage. Think like a billionaire. We're going to steal some mental frameworks of the ultra wealthy and plug them into the everyday playbook. Guys juggling mortgages and midday meetings. Brains on fire. Perfect, because a deep dive unlocks your inner CEO 3-step blueprint that yanks your side hustle out of the basement and shoves it into the boardroom. And because habits and hustle bleed into home life, Mind Fuel pours a double take. What men secretly think before they end their marriage. The hidden psychology most dudes never confess. And the brutal truth about marriage. We're talking marriage today, guys. Why some men call I do their worst decision and how not to become that cautionary meme. Coming up an hour two, we're going to detonate why leaders fear tough decisions. Settling the push-ups versus dips debate. And we're going to hand the mic to the community corner for a fellow joining up, the average dude, Jimmy, joining up in the second hour in the community corner here on Mornings Live with Keith and friends. Quick and friends. Speaking of quick, no, I didn't say get it over quickly, Jimmy. No, I think the things last than 8 minutes. Anyways, quick reminder, smash the like button, obliterate Fordo, as President Trump would say. Obliterate the subscribe and check a comment like a kettlebell. Proudly R-rated show, guys. Get the kids out, put the earbuds in. Don't hit that snooze button and join the greatest morning show for men. Your daily accountability partner, helping those 30 to 800-year-old men start the day right with laughs, lifts, and life tactics with myself, John Andersen, C. Marty Fit, and of course, producer Jimmy on the buttons. Jimmy, I see Marty patiently waiting to get into the lab. Let's bring him up. What's going on, brother? How are you, pal?
What's up, man? I'm good. How you doing, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Good morning, Holroyd. We're back at it, brother. Back at the loop. What's shaking out there in Southern Ontario today? What's going on in Maryland today, Mr. Marty? How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Just another day, another weekend, man. How's it going in Manitoba?
Manitoba's good. I'm busy laughing at. I'm still laughing. I was out for my workout this morning. I was reflecting on your comment, Jimmy. I don't know if you have the picture. I think I sent it over to myself, my dad, and my son. And Marty saw the picture. Marty saw the picture of the three of us, and he was like, and I'm just gonna paraphrase. He's like, "Bilous, where's your legs?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh, man.
Well, you know, the shirt might have been misleading, but I looked at it after you commented. I was like, yeah, I look like a short mofo next to those two boys. Because the way my shirt was hanging, my waist was gone. All you saw was my knees and then my lower body.
Yeah, who's that short motherfucker that looks like he hit the snooze button?
Kindness rising in the lab this morning. Matt Roof, what's shaking, brother? You snooze, you lose. Yeah, there it is there, Jim, Marty. So I put the picture up there. I'm very proud of that picture. 3 generations of Bilous, myself. There's 53, there's 18 in the middle, and there's 82 on the right. And then you got legs that are about, I don't know, 9 feet tall. They're on the left there. So that was pretty funny.
Yo, is Johnny coming today?
He's supposed to be here. Yeah, I have not heard otherwise.
Well, I had a story for y'all, but
we'll wait till he comes in.
I want to wait till Johnny's here. Yeah, I got a good one for y'all.
Because we were talking about evacuating the systems yesterday too, and I could see him going, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" Because on Friday I said, "Johnny, I think I rent food every now and then." He said, "Tell me all about it." And I said, "Well, I eat something, and next thing you know, it's coming out of me." So we started talking about it. So then when I went for ribs on Saturday, I was starting to feel it again, and I could see your expressions going, "What the fuck are these two? What the fuck are these two white boys talking about over there?"
I definitely thought it was white jokes, so I kind of just I took a step out of the group chat, like I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That was funny, man.
But it's not far fetched, is it? It's not
No,
far fetched.
it's not far-fetched at all. No, not far-fetched. Hey, hey, before Johnny gets here, let's have some fun political conversation. Marty, U.S. man, savage on Saturday, brother. Hey, let's get in an airplane and fly 30 hours across the world so nobody can detect us and drop some motherfucking bombs and fly back. And then, hey, yeah, we're back.
Yeah, super savage, man. It's yeah, it's crazy in America right now. I mean,
no, listen, and I have no desire to make it political. I'm just calling it savage. No different than fucking Connor McDavid or Coach just doing some crazy out of this world shit. That's just what it is. And it's out of this world. You get, because you know what it was? And think about this, right? It's like, hey, Marty, what are you doing tonight? I'm going to go for a ride. Well, where are you going for a ride? I'm just going to go overseas and drop bomb on some, just go drop bomb on them. I'll be back for dinner tonight. All right. Like, that's what it was.
Literally what it was.
And on the airplane, they had a fridge, they had a microwave, and they had a bed. And 2 guys on the plane.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah, true story. Yeah, Keith and Marty on the plane. I'll take the first shift, you take the second shift. I'll go for a sleep. I'll have some fucking Doritos in the microwave and throw them in the fridge and won't tell Johnny. And then we'll go evacuate it. And then we'll go drop the bomb. We'll head home. We'll make it home for dinner. We'll head to the gym after.
And they probably came back so unfazed. Just
guarantee
day. Yeah.
Guarantee it. That's what I mean by savage, right? Think about the psychological effects. Eh? Just somebody flew over your country, dropped some fucking bombs and left, and you didn't even know. Just kind of like, dude.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize how savage our military is. I mean,
for sure.
People underestimate how dangerous we are in America. So I think,
dude, you're military. You go into a fucking elementary school and it's dangerous. And I'm not trying to I'm just saying.
No, you're right though. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, we don't want to get political today, but I'm absolutely with you, man. I'm with you.
On Monday morning, and we're not even into the. Hey, Jimmy, I see Johnny there. Let's bring in the Johnny from the Evacuators into the lab. What's going on, brother?
What's up, brother? So I was having a hard time getting in here today. Shit.
Oh, that's okay. What's shaking, man? How are you today? What's going on? I was eager to get.
I got to hear, bro. I literally started hearing you guys. Let's talk some political stuff before John gets here. That's perfect. That was when I first popped in. I couldn't get the horizontal to go, so you must have seen me pop up and decided to talk some smack where I couldn't answer up.
Johnny, that was Keith that said that. See, Marty,
I got you. Don't worry, brother. Don't worry. I know who it was.
Johnny didn't even know a plane took off in America and went to Iran and back. He's like, "What? A plane took? Oh yeah,
yeah. Fuck, man. What's going on? Jesus Christ,
savage shit, man." So America bombed Iran on the weekend, and
this one's actually good, Johnny. This one's good.
It's just fascinating. So Johnny, 2 guys got up in Missouri on Friday morning. So it's like Keith and Johnny. Hey, what are you doing, man? Let's go get into an airplane. We got into an airplane with our microwave, our bed, and our fridge. Flew over to Iran, dropped a couple 30,000 bombs, flew home, went back to bed, went back to the gym. Nobody knew. Simple as that.
Why is that good?
Oh, I don't know if it's good. I just said it's savage. I just find it fascinating that I just find it fascinating. So just think about this, right? You get up. So it's like you say, "Hey, Terry, I got a busy day tomorrow." "Oh, hey, what are you doing, honey?" I got a pretty classified operation. I'll be back by dinner." Okay. Johnny gets up.
Yeah, I imagine that plane probably fucking flies itself. They're just sitting back there eating fucking TV dinners.
Oh, yeah. They're chilling. They're big chilling.
That's exactly.
Yeah, I heard. So you always get little bits and pieces of shit,
Yes.
And I heard that Trump was speaking very similarly in a way that George Bush was speaking before we went 100%. Into Iraq.
100%. And I would say that there's definitely some similarities with that whole situation. And like I was saying to people before, right? And here's the difference, right? So you got Trump, who's got everything under the magnifying glass here. Bush wasn't very dissimilar. Just there wasn't social media documenting every second of every fart, right? So, but anyway, so Marty apparently has a story for us this morning that I was eager to have you join before he told it, and then Johnny, we're gonna get into some evacuation conversation, and then I got some business chatter here today to get into. It's just
evacuation. We talk about evacuation like we're talking about evacuation.
Yeah, we're talking about as Marty would say, some white boy humor. I think
that's code word for Marty. You better take a fucking break.
Maybe I'll be gone by then. Maybe I'll be gone.
Marty, tell us your truth, brother. Tell us your truth.
All right. So Johnny doesn't have any sons, and Johnny told us his story with his stepdad and everything. So I know Johnny doesn't have a picture like Keith had. I don't think Johnny has one.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So we tried to get a picture like the Bilous.
Oh
like
yes,
the Bilous guys. The Martins tried to get a picture like the Bilous guys when I was a little younger.
yes.
So my granddad was like, "Man, I ain't taking no picture with y'all." So
why? Was he like hell with that or what?
I don't know. I think he was just in a bad mood that day. He was like, "Listen, man, you got to stop calling me grandpa." So I said, so what you want me to call you, man? He said, just call me Tall T, man. That's what they called me back in the day.
Call me Tall T.
And we did not get a picture. So me and my dad got thousands of pictures, but my granddad would not take a picture with us. Rest in peace, man.
You know, that whole thing of, you know, I mean, granted, like when I became a grandfather, I couldn't wait to be called grandpa. I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Good
You know,
thing, right?
and like my blood dad, he's like, fuck this shit. Nobody's calling me grandpa. He gave my sister's twins a different name to call him. You know, I get it, but it's just, I don't know. I just think embracing these different phases of life, I think it's the way to go rather than try to, you know, create distance between the inevitable.
Yeah, and hanging on to the past, man. You're not young anymore, bro.
Yeah.
So Carter's 18 now, and you know, I was looking at him on the weekend here. I'm thinking to myself, geez, like it could be around the corner that I'm called grandpa too. I'm not ready for it, Andersen, but I know that there will be a day that somewhat becomes inevitable. And I got to be honest, I think I'm kind of looking forward to it, Johnny. I am.
When I found out, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the fucking badass, the most badass fucking grandpa on the planet.
Yeah.
You just fucking hard charge everything in front of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I was really, I'm sure as you guys can imagine, I had so much joy in sharing that image with you guys, and some of my family pictures from the weekend. I had so much joy in sharing that. I looked at that picture of my dad and myself and my son, and I felt an immense amount of pride. I really did, because I'm like, fuck, my dad looks really good. He's 82. He looks like a rock star. My son's 18, and you get the old man over here who's, you know, doing okay, pulling himself together as well. So I shared a lot of pride in that, and I just was starting to think, Johnny, just because I started hanging out with you, that, you know, it could be within 5-10. Who knows that I could have a next generation in that picture too, right? So pretty cool, pretty cool stuff.
And hopefully he'll be taller than the little guy on the end.
I was waiting for one of you motherfuckers.
I was like, Jesus Christ, was this like a warped picture or something? This is 3 generations. It's like, they should be all kind of fairly similar. It shouldn't just go bum, bum, bum.
Well, and I was thinking about you, Andrew. Well, both you guys, because Marty, I've hugged you, I've met you. You're 6 foot. You're 6'1", Marty. You're 6 foot.
6 foot.
6 foot. And
Yeah,
Johnny,
we're about the same height. Yeah, we're about the same height.
So I was thinking about you guys, and Carter's just shy of 6 foot, and my dad is in around that, whatever, 5'11", 5'12". So I was thinking about.
Did he look like he was fucking 9 feet tall standing next to you?
I know.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about me next to you two guys when we finally get a family photo, and I'm thinking I'm gonna bring my ladder with me to stand next to you guys.
How tall is AJ?
AJ's both same height as you, Marty. Yeah,
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. Hey, Keith, Jon, and Marty here. Mornings Live with Keith and friends. We're going to do the accountability check-in. Keith and Johnny have an evacuation conversation coming up in a few minutes. But before evacuating, you guys. True story about evacuation. Before we do that, I had something funny I want to talk about. Everybody talk about the ice bath. And Jon and myself, Marty, you weren't here for this episode. We talked about an ice bath research study a number of weeks ago where folks were actually caloric input was going up because of the ice bath. But I found something else, guys. Check this out. The icy plunge that you swear by might be doing exactly the opposite of what you intend. There's some new research that flipped the script on cold plunges, revealing that ice baths could actually be shrinking your gains, guys, instead of boosting them. Jimmy, let's run it.
Muscle bros, that ice bath ritual might be killing your gains. Shocking new research just flipped the script on cold plunges. That freezing water you swear by could be shrinking your muscles instead of building them. Studies show ice baths slash blood flow to muscles, blocking the protein delivery your gains desperately need. We're talking 20% fewer gains over 3 months. 20%! Skip the ice. Try active recovery instead. Light cycling, walking. Your muscles will thank you. Stop suffering for nothing. Start growing for real.
Medicine and Science found cold plunges drastically reduce blood flow to muscles after weightlifting, restricting protein delivery, crucial for muscle recovery and growth. Ultrasound imaging confirms that blood flow significantly drops post ice bath, remaining low for hours. Over 3 months, individuals who regularly took ice baths after resistance training saw nearly 20% fewer.
That's because you're doing it for the fucking wrong reason.
Exactly.
You know, it's like fucking Marty going to the fucking driving range thinking he's working on his jump shot.
Yep.
You know, it's like, come on, man. You know, anybody who's doing an ice bath trying to make their muscles bigger, you know, you're on the wrong fucking court.
Yeah. Well,
it's a fucking recovery thing.
Yes. And
it's about, you know, there's a lot of elements to it. But that guy keyed on making your muscles bigger. Well, no fucking shit.
Here's what here's why I wanted to lean in this too, Johnny, is that I to me this is one of those what strategic choices. Somebody will wake up today going, I heard that I should have a cold bath because it's going to help me tomorrow. Well, hold on. Are you eating good foods? Are you getting good rest? Are you doing all the other things right first? Because don't just rush to the one thing that all of a sudden you heard it in the news here today, as everybody likes to get into. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be when I use cold exposure, it's for the brain chemistry that I'm going to get from it.
Yeah. Yeah. How often do you do it, Johnny? Is it a random thing strategically? Did you pick it down there? Or?
I do it here and there, but I don't, it's not really on my totem pole because I have other methodologies of triggering those chemicals.
Yes.
And, you know, like, Terry was big on it for a while, so when she would do it, sometimes I'd do it with her to support her. It's kind of fun to challenge yourself once in a while, but I always look at, okay, for the effort I spend on something, I'm looking for the biggest return on my investment, and that's with everything I do, whether it's, you know, my diet, my training, my business, my relationships. You know, it's about being efficient. It's not just that's the problem with these things. It hits pop culture. Everybody just does it. They don't even know why the fuck they're doing it. Yes.
Well, it's interesting because I was reading something on the weekend too, where somebody's like, you know what? I'm throwing away all my tracking devices. This dude's like, I'm tired of tracking everything. I'm going back to eating whole foods and going to bed early. I was like, wow. He's like,
what a surprise.
I think we're going to enter an era of society where folks are going to go eventually get away from tracking every damn thing because this guy's like, I'm getting more stress because everything I'm tracking. I'm just going to go back to eating foods from the ground.
You motherfuckers are way late to the party. I've been saying this the whole fucking time.
I knew that was coming too when I said that statement.
Jesus Christ. See, listen, I'm just saying you fuckers, not meaning you too, but you take part a little bit. Go on, just keep fucking overcomplicating shit. Go on.
Yes.
Get distracted. Because I'm going to stay over here, keeping it simple, fucking taking that progress, boom, 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 you know.
Marty,
what were you saying, Mart?
I was saying there's a phrase people use now, like if you didn't turn your Apple Watch on, the workout doesn't count. And it's like, what are you talking about? You know, you're here, you showed up, give yourself some credit. Don't try to take your credit away because you didn't turn the Apple Watch on.
That's ridiculous.
I will make a confession though, because I'm a data-driven guy. I like to quantify things. I like having the metrics. However, I will say to you though that as I've continued to embrace them, I do have the awareness, and I continue to remind myself of the awareness that regardless of what this says, I just got to get up and get moving.
Yep.
Right. And if I get up and get moving, this takes care of itself. I know it's a mindset shift, but that's really what kind of, and it's my dad was saying. My dad was kind of bitching about one of his brother-in-laws on the weekend. Is like, the guy doesn't fucking move. Because if you just get up and fucking move, he'd live longer. I'm like, hey, you've been drinking John Andersen's water, actually, because it's as simple as that. My dad's 82. He gets up and moves nonstop. He's just got to move.
That's it. Hey, quick side note. Mart, you're looking good. The new look, you're looking professional, brother. I like it. The new hairdo, tied on the side, a little on the top. Leaving the rose behind. You're evolving into that next phase, my brother. Looking sharp.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man.
Ooh, a little love language coming from John Andersen.
Keith wanted me to keep my hair when I told him I was cutting it.
I love your long flow, brother.
Yeah, so hey, man, I just wanted to do something different.
It is hair though. It goes, it comes back. Look at Johnny. He doesn't have any. So there's some. It's all shapes and sizes, right? So that's how it'll work.
Johnny's is by choice, right?
I mean, there's not much up there, but I got a lot of buddies who actually start having it put back in. There's a lot of procedures now where they take, part of your scalp where it grows well, and they bring it up here. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go spend the time to get this done. I got a fucking flight to Turkey, for Christ's sake. That's where all my buddies are going. and then once this shit starts growing, now I added another fucking responsibility to the deal.
I told y'all see me in Turkey. You know what I'm doing.
That's Jimmy, let's do the check-in, and then we come back. We're going to do some evacuation conversation, then we're going to have some center stage. Let's do the accountability check-in, Jimmy.
I am capable. I am strong. I will achieve my goals. Today is a new day.
Your to-do list is killing your momentum, you guys. Your morning. Yeah, every morning a new stack of urgent lands in your lap. You got to get my LinkedIn's done. I got to get my client deadlines done. It's Monday and the family requests. I'm getting pulled in every direction. That thing you fixed, that thing you promised your wife you'd fix at home, the fitness goals, everything is screaming for attention, just grabbing it everywhere. And you tell yourself it all matters. Like, I got to do it all. And here's the thing. When everything feels urgent, in my experience, nothing actually is. You call it artificial urgency. Is it really urgent? Is it really, really urgent? Think about it. You stay busy, but you don't move forward. You spin those wheels. You get overwhelmed, but you don't build real momentum. That's the trap that I call artificial urgency. And here's how it works. Here's what works, I should say. You got to stop asking, what do I need to get done today? You got to start asking what actually matters right now. Not what makes me look productive, not what makes me look busy, but what deserves my best focus and energy today. Set yourself that hard limit. 3 true priorities, max 1, 2, 3. Get them done. On most days, I invite you to pick one. You're going to feel great about yourself. The rest, more than likely, it can wait. So ask yourself, what's important right now? Drop your number in the comments. What are you getting done today, guys? What are you getting done today? Are you doing 3 things today? Or are you doing 1 thing today? But get it done. There's your accountability check-in. Don't wait for someday, one day, or don't just say you're not ready yet. That won't get you anywhere. Accountability check-in daily right here, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'm sorry, 8:15 Eastern time. Mornings live with Keith and friends. Speaking of Jimmy, let's put the number up there, pal. Let's put the number up. You want to connect with the show live? Phone lines are open right now. 431-300-3005. 431-300-3005. The only morning show. You guys can phone in live right now and join the conversation. Leave a voicemail. Send me a text. Or just phone. Just phone the number. I might answer it. I might say, hey, what the hell is going on? We got Matt Roof coming in with the kindness rising. I call it the tyranny of the urgent. What feels urgent rarely matters, but it distracts from what it does. Actually, Roofy, I think we have a big announcement we're going to make on Friday. I haven't told you yet, but we're having announced it on Friday, Roofy. Free for all Friday. Matt Roof's coming in with a big announcement this Friday. Right, Matt? Am I right? I know I'm right. Fuck, of course I'm right. This Friday, big announcement. Matt Roof, 8 o'clock Eastern time, free for all Friday. I invite you guys to check it out. Roofy's got a big one. He's going to bring it here to the lab. What's going on, Clody? I see you there in the comments. Lady Drew, I see you there in the comments. MFR, I see you there in the comments. Yes. Guys, bring your kindness to the party on Friday so we can have some fun. All right. Jimmy, let's bring up Johnny here. Let's have a conversation about evacuating. Johnny, so I said to you, we talked last week about, I think when I eat foods, that they go right through my body. And you're like, well, I don't know if it's actually the food you're eating or the food that you ate before that. So we kind of started having a conversation about how food works and how it comes in and out of our body. And then you said you used a test around Ivermectin, I think it was. So Marty, here's how it started, brother. There's some foods that I eat, I swear that I rent them. They go in one hole and within seconds they're out the other hole. And I was Lauren.
Real quick, let's jump in here. So I know that's what it seems like.
Yes.
But really what's happening is you're eating something that's triggering something in your body, whether your body doesn't like it, maybe it's spicy, or maybe it's just the fact that I'll give you a perfect example. Yeah. So when I'm bodybuilding, right, the last month your body, you're having a hard time taking a dump because your body's holding on to what you're eating because you're in a fucking deficit for a long fucking time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then you basically, when you're done, you'll go have a meal and you're looking forward to that meal and you're having food that you haven't eaten in a while. It's still healthy food, but it's rich compared to what you're used to eating. So your body goes, in that scenario, your body goes, holy shit, I got what I want. Let's fucking let go of all that toxic shit we've been fucking holding on to, and you will take this massive fucking dump. You're not shitting out what you just ate. It's still sitting in your stomach. It's triggering your body to get rid. Now, what you're describing, brother, could be that you ate something that your body doesn't like because it's from a restaurant, like maybe it's not clean or maybe it's spicy. So your body's like, okay, let's start the evacuation.
Yeah.
But for you to crap out what you ate 15 minutes ago, that's highly unlikely. Probably crapping out something you ate the night before. Like when I do the test, I just recently did it.
Yes.
I knew Tara was making this amazing salad. So I ate no greens for a full 24, maybe even 36 hours. Had a heavy helping of that salad, borderline over 8. Crapped it out about 7 hours later. That's 7 hours, not 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy who can, crap out corn like wickedly fast.
Yes. So I know maybe it sounds like a ridiculous story to others, but I'm going to suspect this happens to many of us men, but we just don't talk about it. And I'm curious about it. I eat tacos, Marty. Like I eat a taco. I think you're right, Johnny, on the rich spiciness. I think my belly says something about, okay.
Let's move this through quick. I don't want this in here.
Yes. Like it's because I enjoy the flavor of it, but something inside my belly is saying, sure, you enjoy the flavor, but it doesn't enjoy being inside your belly. Right?
Your body's saying you ate what you wanted. Dumb motherfucker, you're supposed to eat what I wanted.
Oh, yeah. Marty, do you ever experience it? I'm serious. Do you ever experience that too, Marty, or not? Never.
Not really. Sometimes coffee does it.
I'm being very serious.
Yeah, coffee does it to me sometimes.
Yes. Coffee does it to me all the time.
Man, I have a cup of coffee and it just got to go immediately.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's probably the only thing that really does it to me. That's
it can be caffeine. That can be warmth. There's so many things that it can be. But
Johnny, tell me,
crapping out something you ate 15 minutes ago. Not say that it's impossible, but highly unlikely. And I think you'd have to set it up just perfectly. You'd have to I don't know. It wouldn't just be your normal rhythm. Eat a fucking taco and crap it out 15 minutes later.
Oh, I never think that it is what I just ate. I laugh about it because it feels because it feels like a rental, Johnny. It's like, okay, I just ate this. Now my belly is saying to get rid of it. So
we're kind of renting everything we eat, aren't we?
Yes, you're right. Yes. Because at Carter's grad on Friday night, we crushed some nice steak. They made some really nice steak. And I think that's what my body was saying because it was literally about, I don't know, 18 out, no, 24 hours later where I crushed those ribs. So it was, and I had some whole food before that. I had no crap. I ate relatively good. I don't complain about the way they eat, but I noticed that my belly was rumbling after I started crushing some ribs.
Yeah, I think for me, where I get it the most is when, because I always try to eat enough, but I try to not overeat, right?
Yes.
And if I do end up overeating, my body feels the surplus. It says, okay, let's fucking get rid of, because it holds on to literally shit. It's waste. And if it's scared, it'll hold on to that waste, but it's toxic. Yes. So it's kind of it's a double-edged sword. So when the body realizes, okay, I've got this, it comes out of scarcity mode, right? And go, I have a surplus. Let's get rid of this waste. And it just starts pumping out that waste.
Yeah. This is Hey, so you did an Ivermectin test. Tell me about that.
Ivermectin?
Yeah, Ivermectin.
So I mean, it's kind of one of those things to where, I mean, I believe it's one of these, call it a drug, that is, really kind of much more useful than we're told. It does a lot of different things that it can do.
What's the primary use of it, Johnny? I know of it. What's the primary use of ivermectin?
Well, I mean, we think of it as like a killing parasites, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But it actually has other, and I'm having a brain fart. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who's really up to speed with the terminology.
Yeah.
But it also has to do with something about how there's certain patterns in cells that happen, right? And this thing will break that pattern. Well, that pattern, if it goes long enough, is the precursor to cancer. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of argument that ivermectin actually can be cancer preventative, which, of course, I think, why would Big Pharma want people to know that they could, I mean, shit, there's way too much money in cancer.
Well, yeah, there absolutely is way too much money in cancer.
But going back to how I originally just did this recently, a buddy of mine who, you know, I got him started on his diet. He's eating a lot of meat, and he, you know, is weird about parasites. So he took this ivermectin, you know, because you eat a lot of meat, you're going to be getting a lot of potential, you know, I guess you say worms and shit, you know?
Yeah.
And so he takes this fucking ivermectin and he sends me a fucking picture. And I was like, my first thought was, tell me you're fucking digging up earthworms to go fishing. That's what I'm thinking. Is this motherfucker? I mean, there was nothing to really tell me how big it was, but it was a picture that you could actually see the formation. It was a worm that you would recognize.
Yeah.
Whether it was an inch, 2 inches, or 5 inches, it's a worm that you recognize. Well, he fucking found that in the goddamn toilet. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I was like, dude, send me a picture of the ivermectin you use. He sent me a picture and I fucking immediately did it. Now, I didn't have the balls to dig around in my shit looking for worms, but, you know, if it killed the worms in him, I'm sure it killed the worms in me.
Christopher Martin.
Dude, I felt the same way, brother. That's why I took it. I was like, whoa, baby. This is a little bit more. I'm thinking parasites that the motherfuckers you can't see. I'm not thinking about threading up a fucking hook to go fishing.
You see, part of me wants to do it, but then the other part of me is like, oh, I don't even want to know. I'm good.
Well, don't dig in your shit. You'll never know.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I want to take it and then have to look into
the first time I mean, of course, I'm freaking out, so I take this stuff and I'm like, the next morning I look in the toilet and I'm like, what are you doing? Don't look in there. Just do your thing.
I gotta look though. I gotta look.
That's what I mean.
But then you realize, okay, you know, this is like one of these things that's completely out of your control. Just do your thing and get the benefit and move forward. You know,
Johnny, is that when you have that? What are you doing, you fat son of a bitch? Don't look. Get up and get the hell out of here.
You know, it was really, it was kind of a weird thing. It was just like, it was kind of like, you know, it's like watching a car crash. You can't stop watching it once you see the thing start going out of control. But here's the funny thing, right? So you can't just take it once because these fucking things lay eggs inside you, right? Yeah. So you take the first one, it kills the ones that are active, right? Then you got to go back and take it again 2 weeks later because the eggs are starting to fucking sprout. So you got to cycle this shit to really clean yourself out.
This will work well with the clip that I made of eating dog food, Marty, the one that we made that conversation a few weeks ago. But listen, producer Melissa, my colleague here on the team, I just got a note, and she's like, "Remember the itch that never went away?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, someone recommended ivermectin. It's finally healing up," she says. So there you go. You know, apparently this stuff works. Outside of, I don't know, I just don't. Marty?
Yeah, I never heard of this stuff, but if I have an itch or I feel some worms, I know what to take.
I know it's time for your fit tip. Let's get you on stage to see what you have to say so we can stop talking worms coming out of our ass with Christopher Martin. Get after it, Marty. Get yourself together, Marty. Come on, Marty. You're on stage, brother. No worms out of the ass. Come on, man.
Why would you do that right before this segment, man? Come on, Keith. Anyway, we got the fitness tip for today, man. A lot of people sit around and wait for motivation. I don't understand, because looking in the mirror should be enough motivation. Now, do I mean literally looking in the mirror? Yes, I do. But I also mean knowing your numbers, right? Knowing how you felt walking up the steps, knowing how you felt not being able to fit those jeans or fit the sweater or fit the shirt, right? That should be your motivation. The wake up call should motivate you. So a lot of people sit around, they wait for a motivational quote. I want my coach, I want my trainer to say this to me. I want to watch Mornings in the Lab and hopefully Johnny and Chris say something that motivates me. Stop waiting around and realize that your reflection is all you need to take action. So think back to the things that made you feel uncomfortable. Think back to the things that you don't like. Maybe you want to look how you looked 10 years ago, 5 years ago. You want to feel how you felt 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Think about that and let that push you, and stop waiting for some external person, external quote to get you going. All right. That's the fitness tip for today.
Today, every time, even when we're having conversations about worms and shit and everything like that.
That was fucking crazy. You're going to do that to me right before the segment. Come on, man. You know better than that, Keith.
Oh, and I got a text from Jimmy saying, excuse me for those who are eating right now. Actually, yeah, I guess it's probably breakfast time for some folks this morning too, as we're getting after here this morning. Hey, Jimmy, shall we do a quick, let's do a center stage topic. We'll get in center stage. And then I'm thinking Marty's probably got to go here within the next 10 minutes or so, brother. Thinking?
Yeah, I'm rock and roll like 5 minutes right before Johnny goes on.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, let's do it. Jimmy, you ready to rock and roll in the center stage topic, brother? Let me see a thumbs up there there we go.
Ever wonder how billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk see the world? Today, we reveal the mindset shifts behind billion-dollar success. Billionaire mindset turns obstacles to openings, magnifying impact, obsess over product, collaborate early, and keep space for creativity. See wealth as limitless value from massive change. Picture yourself 20 years ahead. Act now to cancel regret. Break problems to first principles and rebuild bold solutions. Let's think bigger together.
Your approach to challenges, seeing opportunities others miss, and dramatically enhancing your ability to impact the world. Guys, I thought this was fascinating because people like, I want, but we don't know how. So I thought we could talk a little bit this morning for a few minutes about thinking like that billionaire, millionaire, whatever, that crazy mindset. That's not just about wealth, because often we think about the billionaire mindset, Johnny and Marty, we think about wealth, but it's actually most importantly about transforming your approach to challenges and seeing opportunities that others miss, and then looking at ways you can dramatically enhance your ability to impact the world. And some of the ways that
love this. I got such a simple way to explain this too when you're done.
Yes. And here's so I'm gonna go first with this one. Here's what I really, as I got into this conversation, and what I love most about something like this is something I've been leaning into much lately since I learned about it. And I knew about this, but until I started reading about it through Ray Dalio and Elon Musk. But it's this idea of first principles thinking. And for those of you that don't know what first principles thinking is, it's taking something that we've known and we've always assumed and breaking it right down and rebuilding it. So, for example, when Elon was starting Tesla, there's certain assumptions that we make in society based on what we've learned, what we've known, and what science has shown us. And typically, most people just accept that that's what it is. When you take a first principles approach, you go at it and you wipe everything out and say, well, no, just because Marty said this was right, maybe there's a different way of going about it. So the first principles approach is something I thoroughly enjoy, which is the breaking down the complex problem into basic truths and then rebuilding innovative solutions from scratch. And Johnny, I would say you probably deliver more first principles thinking you've probably even realized, because you take something and you break it down to its simplest form and rebuild it back up from scratch, not looking at how it got there originally. Most people, and I'm not saying right or wrong, but just most people will say, okay, well, this is how it's done. Johnny, Marty, we all want templates. Humans want templates. Templates are the shortcut to success. But the problem is that's what 99% of people want templates. It's the one that says, no, I'm going to reimagine the entire thing. First principles. Johnny, I'm going to catch a rocket ship coming from space. What the fuck? Yeah, I got to catch it because I got to reuse it. Nobody ever thought years ago that you'd catch a rocket ship coming from space. But it was this idea of creating first principles thinking to catch a rocket ship. Johnny, you said you wanted to get into this. What's your thoughts when you think about the billionaire mindset?
Well, I think when it comes down to it, a lot of times you hear like people hearing billionaire mindset, it's hard to even digest. So let's break it down into the most simple form. We've all played some sort of a sport when we were kids, or even as a young adult. when we win, we have this confidence about us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, I can't wait to do it again. I know I can do better, right? And the other side of the equation, you lose, your confidence is shaken. You're like, fuck,
Yeah.
God damn it, I got to practice again. So now we've established these two different mindsets. Those two different mindsets are going to promote two different types of decisions. Your decisions will fucking change your life. So when it comes right down to it, the billionaire mindset, he lives in a winning mindset because he's always confident. He's always making decisions to move forward. If you think about how many times in your life you made a poor decision because you weren't confident. It's the losing mindset. Now, you always hear people say scarcity mindset, abundant mindset. People don't understand that. Distill it down a little bit to the winning and losing. But the bottom line is your mindset, the frame of mind you're in, winning or losing, abundant or scarcity or billionaire or average, wherever your mindset is going to determine your decisions. Your decisions will change your life.
Yes. Well, so Johnny, you talk about the scarcity, abundance thinking, view wealth. And again, guys, I want to define wealth as not necessarily always monetary, right? Wealth can be defined in many ways, but abundance thinking and this idea of viewing wealth as limitless, generated by massive value creation. I take Marty and Johnny, for example. These guys get out of bed desiring to help men achieve these great goals throughout their life. And I know when Marty's like, I can create a lot of value for that guy over there. Of course, Marty wants to get paid, but when he sees somebody achieving their great goals, or when Johnny's helping a guy loosen the belt buckle or lose a bunch of weight, they're thinking limitless. This guy can help this guy achieve the greatest goals possible. And I know you guys are creating that massive value creation. I don't know if much of us think about abundance thinking enough. Marty, what do you think when you think about abundance thinking?
You absolutely have to have abundance thinking.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can get trapped in old ways or trapped in a certain mindset that leads to nothing. And you're so trapped that you don't even realize that you're trapped.
Yes.
Right. So a lot of times me and my mom, we go back and forth about how things were back in her day, or things decisions she made at my age that I may not want to make,
Yes.
But there's always, just because something is different or it's not the norm doesn't mean it's wrong. Abundance thinking has led to a lot of great things. So I'm there with you.
I think there's a different set of vocabulary that needs to be used for different levels of people. Mm-hmm. You can say scarcity and abundant to a person, and he might say that he understands, but he really has no fucking clue.
Correct.
You start off with fucking winning and losing.
Yes.
Everybody understands winning and losing.
Yes.
You build off of that. You can't start at the top of the fucking food chain language, so to speak, vocabulary, and expect that people are going to follow that. I mean, there's a long period of time where I didn't fucking connect the dots.
Yes.
Yes. So I think the first step to this conversation is to use a vocabulary that makes sense to the person you're trying to communicate with.
Yes. Well, so the other thing, John, that the billionaire mindset very much leaned into, and we talk again, I like to find topics that lean into the pillars that we always discuss. And one of them is blank space. What does that mean? Time to think. Giving yourself unstructured time to think. So Johnny's saying, okay, today's my 30 minutes of thinking time. What do you mean thinking time? No, I'm going to think. My job is to think right now. My job is to strategize. My job is to think. Again, guys, my experience as a leader going through my journey in life, building ICUC and exiting, et cetera, was always running from one thing to the other, one human to the other. It wasn't until Marty and Johnny, I learned that I had to stop to think, that actually more magic started to happen. Wait a minute, I actually got to think for a half an hour so I can put an hour of time into execution. So it's this idea of allocating unstructured time to think so that you can have some creative breakthroughs. Marty, Johnny?
I mean, there's a lot of things that the average man doesn't do, and he stays average because of that. And I think that's what you're talking about. Just that right there.
Yes.
It's like, when I love it, the average man, he's just too busy, and he's busy with a bunch of shit that doesn't fucking matter.
It's absolutely
the elite man, He fucking carves out that shit that doesn't matter, and he finds the time to invest in himself. And I guarantee you, successful dudes spend time thinking.
Yes.
Poor people fucking work. Rich people think for money.
So the first step to abundance is cut out all the bullshit, is what you're saying. So you can think.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I think if you're at that level, you're not even using the word abundance. If you're trying to cut shit out, let's stick with winning and losing mindset.
Remember, guys,
if you've actually gone far enough to cut shit out and you're in that process, okay, maybe you're ready for the next step of vocabulary.
Yes. The center stage, guys, remember, visionary thinking isn't reserved for a select few. It's actually for all of us. It's accessible to anyone willing to challenge that conventional wisdom and commit to long-term bold action. Coming up, we got Jon Andersen with Lifestyle Tip. Hey, guys, Johnny and Marty are on LinkedIn. So am I. And I know that I've been really pushing myself on LinkedIn for the last year. Marty's there too. Johnny's there too. Matt Roof is there too. Guys, I highly encourage you to connect with Matt, John, and Marty on the platform. Johnny's got the Lifestyle Tip coming up, and we got AJ Zeglin joining us. AJ is also on LinkedIn. So, Johnny, let's do the Lifestyle Tip, and then we'll come back and keep the conversation going with Zeglin. Marty, I know you got to rock and roll as well. Hey, brother.
Yeah, catch y'all tomorrow, man.
Jimmy, hold on.
Have a good loop, brother.
Forgot about it, Marty.
Catch y'all tomorrow, man. Damn, Jimmy, what the hell? No, I'm playing.
See you, Marty. See you, pal. All right, Johnny, let's get after it, pal. Let's get to the fit. Let's get the Lifestyle Tip, brother.
We're going to keep going on this whole billionaire or millionaire, whatever you want to call it, mindset. So many people don't understand abundance. So many people understand some of these words, the vocabulary. Boil it down. Winning and losing. As a business owner, you're going to make decisions that are going to help you grow your business if you stay in a winning mindset. Well, think about it. Winning mindset, you're making decisions out of confidence. Losing mindset, you're making decisions out of questioning your confidence. Can you do it? Well, here's the thing. How do you keep yourself in that winning mindset? You're trying to build a business, but are you building yourself? You see, we build that winning mindset through how we take care of ourselves. Are we doing the self-work? Are we doing the stuff that makes us better? Are we doing the things that allow us to see the opportunities rather than the problems? Because when we spend our lives looking at all the problems, we're making decisions based upon problems, based upon opportunity. That right there, that simple little element of decision-making will change the outcome of what you're doing, especially your business. So that being said, if this is resonating with you, let's have a conversation, man. I love this shit. Drop into my LinkedIn DM, say, hey, let's chop it up. Rock and roll.
Imagine the leap from good to great isn't strategy, cash, or talent. It's the discipline turning weekend warriors into Olympians. Welcome to the Business Athlete Mindset, where focus fuses with CEO vision. Elite athletes plan, visualize, execute, add vulnerability-based leadership, and performance soars. Leaders aligning purpose with mission feel 40% happier. Teams with psychological safety outperform by 67%. Ready to dive deeper?
And friends, we're getting after it on the deep dive here. Johnny's going to step away for a quick little break. And Johnny, while you do that, I'm going to set this up. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the business athlete mindset. The strategic insights of visionary CEOs, and we're going to talk to folks about the philosophy that merges physical discipline, mental resilience, and authentic vulnerability to drive business success. Coming up in a few minutes, we got AJ Zeglin joining us for some mind-fuel conversation. We're going to get into conversation about marriage, et cetera, et cetera. But guys, you want to join the conversation, I invite you to do that. 431-300-3005. The mornings in the lab. The mornings in the lab hotlines are open right now, guys. You can leave a voicemail, send a text, or make the phone call 431-300-3005. Of course, I also invite you guys to join the Mornings in the Lab YouTube community. Just getting started here. A free community getting after every single day here, right here on YouTube, over there on LinkedIn, over here on X as well. We're growing the community. We got some paid options as well. $2.99, $15. I think there's another one there for $20 as well. Guys, money we're putting back to investing in the show, not to lining Keith and Johnny's pocketbook. So I invite you guys to join the community along the way. All right, let's get into the business athlete mindset. And we're going to talk about unleashing your inner CEO, 3-step blueprint for business breakthroughs. I thought today's conversation, we can lean as much to a business and so forth along the way. We're going to talk about the mindset, a philosophy that merges physical discipline, mental resilience, and authentic vulnerability to drive business success. And truthfully, guys, this was my blueprint to success. This was my blueprint to my executing the sale of my social media company for millions and millions of dollars. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into the 3-step blueprint to harness your inner CEO and create powerful breakthroughs in your business and your life. And then the first we're going to talk about, we're going to start with number 1 is clarify your vision with athlete level commitment. Joining us in a couple minutes is AJ Zeglin, and Johnny does work with elite athletes. AJ has as well and does as well along the way. But just as the elite athletes vividly visualize their victory before it ever happens, successful CEOs, and I'll even say business owners, John, myself, Marty, craft a crystal clear vision for their business, identify core motivation, your why, and then aligning it seamlessly with your company's mission. This clarity will fuel your passion, your purpose, and your unwavering dedication. Guys, so defining your purpose, understanding deeply why your business exists beyond profit, aligning your goals with your vision, and then committing like an athlete. Listen, your vision might be to make as much money as possible. And I'll tell you guys, that's okay. And I'm going to say to you guys that as I was growing ICUC, I had a lot of people saying, what's your purpose? Make a lot of cash. People looking like, really? I'm like, yeah. And it was like, John, it's like I was poo-pooed because that was my goal. No, that was my singular goal when I built that business, to make as much fucking money as possible. That was it. End point. Or that was my purpose. And I have, in my experience, John, with entrepreneurs, they often get too caught up in what they think everybody else wants them to say. Oh, I want to change the world, or I want to go change poverty, or I want to go do this. No, go make a bunch of cash and you can do all that. Find your purpose, commit to it, embrace it. And
well, brother, my first real win was a fucking painting company.
There you go.
It's about fucking painting, man. It was a means to the end.
Yes.
That was it was either a build it till it could maintain itself, which I realized that was going to be a fucking nightmare.
Yes.
Or sell it. And so there was no aspirations of wanting to be a painting mogul.
But I love that example though. I love it because you're like, oh, wait a minute. You found an opportunity. You knew you can go make some money at it. And you ran after it.
That's what it was.
Exactly. Where my belief is many get too caught up in all the fucking details when it's like, no, go cut the grass, go do a painting company, go make some cash. I'll give you an example. I'll be frank. There was a guy we met to move some garbage around my house. The guy moved from Iran here years ago. All that aside, he could have came here and stood on the street, Johnny, and had his hand out and begged. You know what he did instead? He went and found himself the cheapest fucking motherfucking truck possible, put an ad on this Kijiji site, and started hauling garbage from houses. That's how I met the guy. He's like, yeah, I didn't want to stand in the corner to go and ask for handouts. My point is, he found whatever he could do. He put his vision in place and went and made money.
And there's 2 levels to this.
Yes,
because purpose. Let's use you. You had this goal of making money. You did it.
Yes.
But then when you reinserted yourself, you're like, okay, I want a different dimension on top of making the money. So you realign your purpose in this whole thing. Then once you've attached your purpose to what you're doing, you have to be careful that the purpose is what you're serving, not making the money, because otherwise it's kind of, there's 2 different kind of, like, we promote people to do a side hustle.
Yes.
I promote them to find something that's passionate or that has some purpose so that it doesn't feel like work.
Yes.
That's the true wealth. When you're making money,
absolutely,
you don't feel like you're working. To me, that's a huge part of my definition. And when you're just focused on the dollar, you're fucking working.
You know what? You're going to like what I'm going to say next. Scale.ai, a big company right now in the news on the AI world. There are 2 founders. They just recently did a sale for billions of dollars. But the point is, there's a young lady. She's the youngest billionaire in the world right now.
Really? How old is she?
27, 28, I believe it is. She's supplanted Taylor Swift. Yeah, exactly. Right. But here's what she said, and you're going to love it. She subscribes to the 996. I guess there's a Chinese work philosophy called the 996. It's working, 9 to 9, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. And she's like, if you're in a job that you're going to and you're waiting to work till 5 o'clock, quote unquote, to go home, you're in the wrong job. I was like, yes, that's what we say all the time. And she's like, if she goes, I work 9 to 9, 6 days a week because it's not work to me. And I know it's so cliche because like I don't feel like I work. I know everyone's like, oh, you work hard.
Brother, yeah, I was going to say, I work every day because if we're using the term work,
yes,
but it's really stuff that I want to do because it's some days I look at the activities. They're like, I'm going to enjoy this.
Yes.
Some days I'm not going to quite as much enjoy it, but it's still moving towards where I'm trying to go. And that daily movement to me it's important. I enjoy that. And if I don't have daily movement, I don't feel fulfilled.
Yes. Yeah. And she made it very clear. If you want, so first of all, we both know work-life balance doesn't exist. And as she said, if you want to create wealth for yourself and your family, go ahead.
We got to redefine that because I think if we look at that phrase from the other side, it does. And here's why. Balance means you commit to everything equally.
Yes.
Well, commit to everything equally.
So I'm pausing and I'm not being silent because I'm digesting your words. So I embrace what you're saying, but I would say that there's more fluidity in that. So what I mean is that, so it depends on when you say equally. So equally over a period. Good morning, Brophy. I see the comments there, brother. What's shaking, pal? So I don't disagree with you. However, to me, it's fluid so today I'm going to commit to this a little more than this other activity tomorrow.
Well, see, everybody's getting caught up in time.
Yes.
Don't judge time, judge effort.
Yes. Yes.
I don't commit the same amount of time to every task. But I commit it's the same type of commitment to every task.
Correct. I think we as society get too caught up in the work-life balance, which is okay. Well, I'm going to go work from 9 to 5, and then I'm going to go do my 5 to 9, and then I'm going to repeat, and I'm going to make a balance. And I say this to Carter and Piper, my two kids. If you want to have life-changing wealth, you're not going to achieve it working for somebody else.
No.
And you're not going to achieve it by a work-life balance. You are going to have to go and work like a motherfucker for a period of time. It's going to shatter all illusions of quote unquote balance. You're going to have balance over time, Johnny, but in that period of time when you're getting after it, it's gone. So don't even pretend.
No, I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Because when you were trying to be when you were on your path to world-class bodybuilder, world-class strongman, world-class wrestler.
A lot of no's, baby. A lot of no's.
Exactly. Right? Those no's now. Here's what others don't recognize. A lot of those no's give you the privilege and purpose to do this every single day because these give you the yeses along the way.
Yeah.
Right. If you didn't do all those no's, you don't have the yeses today.
Well, and I agree with what you're saying, and I think I probably should have precursed what I was saying with once you actually get the momentum up. Right. Then you start to realize that you can commit to your relationship, with that same intensity that you're committing to your training session. Maybe it's an hour of each, but you're totally committing to each. And that's something that honestly, that I struggle with. I have to really fucking be intentional.
You do,
about commit. What's because I spent a good chunk of my life making poor decisions with females.
Yes. Yeah.
And, I didn't really understand that platform of a good relationship. There was, a lot of dishonesty, a lot of unfaithfulness, all that kind of shit. So
yeah.
How much do you really commit to something like that?
Yes.
You commit, there's a certain level of, you have a governor on your commitment because you kind of know what's under the surface, so then when, like with Terry, I have to really, really, like, perfect example. And she's good at calling me out. She's like, you were on your phone too much during our time. And I was like, fuck, you're right.
Yeah.
So our time needs to be, phone is over there. If something's happening, I can always take a piss and check it, but it doesn't have to be in my fucking hand. So every time it makes a fucking vibration, I'm stopping what I'm doing to look at it. And when it's in my hand, that's not the commitment that situation deserves.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, Jon. We got AJ Zeglin joining us in a quick second here. Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends. Hour 2 is coming up here. John, we got some comments coming in. We're gonna continue the deep dive throughout the next hour, guys. The 3-step blueprint for business breakthroughs. We got AJ coming in. We're gonna talk some marriage stuff here in a few moments, relationships. Maddie Roof's coming in with the conversation. When you're doing what you love, life and business are fully integrated. So that's one thing where Maddie and I met. I fully. It's just my life. There's certain activities that generate revenue. There's certain activities that generate love with my brothers. There's certain activities. They're just called activities throughout my day. And then we got John Jacob Jinglehanger Smith, Johnny, joining us in the comments. I heard you should do what you love for a hobby. Do what you are interested in for work so that you're always engaged and intrigued in the work. That's exactly it, John Jacob Jinglehanger Smith. That's exactly.
And there's so many ways to say that.
Yes.
And there's no wrong way.
No, not at all, actually. There's no wrong way here, guys.
Yeah, everybody has their own definition of how that works. And I love the fact that, that's his and it makes sense. And I can totally see that he's running with the spirit that we talk about. That's right. It's his own set of adjectives.
That's right. That's right. Hey, guys, hour 1, we got into some ice bath illusions. We talked Billionaire brains. John and Marty had their fit tip, and we're going to get into Morning Loop Reloaded here. Today's leaders might be terrified of tough decisions. We got some marriage discussion as well. But before we do that, let's bring in the boy wonder, AJ Zeglin. What's going on, Mr. Zeglin? How are you today, brother?
What's up, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing awesome, man. We're doing awesome. How was the weekend?
Weekend was good, man. Weekend was good. Had a couple birthdays to attend. It was,
nice.
My sister-in-law's birthday, and then an old college teammate's 50th birthday.
Oh,
which was
college teammate's 50th birthday. That would have been one of those, so we're here now kind of moments, right?
Totally, man. It's kind of crazy. We were there and we're like, oh man, we're we got buddies that are 50 that we played with.
John Jacob, I love you too, man. I appreciate you joining the show here this morning. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, tell your friends about the greatest morning show right here live, 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube, LinkedIn, and sex. Mornings in the lab with Keith and Friends. Hey Jimmy, do you got that picture of me and my dad and my son up there? I know we had some laughter with Johnny and Marty here. I sent it over to AJ too here, and AJ, I was laughing with Marty and John. I sent it over to those boys, and Marty's comment was something along the lines of, Bilous, where are your legs?
It looks like his son and his dad took a picture with a micro wrestler.
That wasn't the word you used on the weekend, John.
Well, I meant to be a little different when I'm speaking publicly.
Yeah.
That's a nice choice of words. Oh, you mean dwarf? Because you said micro wrestler. I love that's the best.
It's crazy because how that term was just dropped in my lap. Because check this out, kind of a really cool story. So Ben, he's my tech guy. He takes great care of me, right? So his brother ended up getting really sick, and when he got sick, he's like, when I get better, he's a huge wrestling fan. He goes, I want to go watch. I'm going to use his phrase. I want to go watch the midget wrestling because they have, micro wrestling, right?
Yes, yeah.
And he ended up not getting better, and he passed away, right? Which was terrible, right? So never got to go see the wrestling he wanted. Well, the first anniversary of his death, there was Micromania close to Ben's house. So he went and watched Micromania in honor of his brother, which was pretty fucking cool that show landed on the anniversary of his brother's death. And so he told me about it, and that's where he goes, we went to Micromania. I was like, what are you talking about? And it's like, it is that's how that word landed in my lap perfectly for me to use on the show, because I wouldn't have thought that up.
I'm looking for any micro wrestlers that want to join the show. I'm looking to build the circus. So I'm calling all micro wrestlers. Anybody know micro wrestlers? Send them Uncle Keith's way so we can hang out and we can redefine the term micro wrestler here on Mornings in Lab with Keith. Good morning, Bernard. Good to see you there in the comments. Hey, heads up, guys. Give us a shout here, 431-300-3005. Text live or phone call. I was very, very fortunate to connect with Bernard on Friday. I appreciate you, brother. He sent me a text and we had some good conversation going back and forth. All right, guys, let's get into a conversation about marriage. Let's get into a conversation, AJ. I found something, pal. The brutal truth about marriage. Why so many men call it their worst decision. And the hook sounds like this. What if I told you that a recent study reveals the shocking reasons why men regret getting married, and that confessions will change how you think about marriage forever? Jimmy.
15% of married men say their wedding day was the worst decision they ever made. Not because they don't love their wives, but because they lost themselves in the process. Here are the brutal truths men wish they knew before saying, I do. Financial control, social isolation, dead bedrooms, loss of identity. These aren't marriage problems. These are warning signs of a relationship built on the wrong foundation, and millions of men are living this reality in silence. But marriage doesn't have to be a prison sentence. It can be a partnership of equals. The key is choosing the right person and maintaining your identity throughout. Your happiness matters too.
This is not about male bashing or marriage bashing. We're just really talking about the understanding the real challenges that destroy relationships so we can avoid them. We're sitting with our brother, AJ Zeglin, who gets up every...
I'm sorry. I'm just bursting with everything we heard. That fucking man allowed it to happen. Take some fucking accountability.
Go further.
Okay, well, if you get married and you lose your identity, if you get married, you lose control of your finances, all the shit that he said, it doesn't just happen when you say yes. You have to allow that shit to happen.
Yes.
So what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
I mean, you have a choice. If you don't want to get fucking wet when it's raining outside, put a fucking umbrella over your head.
Mr. Zeglin, we got our mental performance mind fuel expert here, AJ, who meets with men. He's got Invictus mental performance. He's going to be in the lab here on Friday. Hey, just talk about marriage, man. I'm curious. Have you had guys come into your clinic and say, holy fuck, did I make a bad decision? I regret it. Has that ever come up straight to you? Honestly.
So not quite like that, if I'm being honest. No one coming in feeling like they made a bad decision. People coming in feeling like they're in a bad place and they're not quite sure, kind of the typical, hey, I woke up and this is my life now. Like what happened type of deal. But
hold on. So you're saying that a guy wakes up going, I'm waking. So maybe to what Johnny is saying is I've woken up and all this has happened and I don't really know how I got there. Is that more like what it sounds like, AJ?
Yeah. It's just kind of like they just, but like, you know what John alluded to, like your marriage is going to be whatever you make it to be.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. When the amount of, effort that goes into it, the amount of responsibility that you take for your actions and how they're going to affect the outcome of your marriage and the amount of the attitude and effort that you bring to that relationship, those are the things that are going to dictate the quality of the marriage. So, but I think just people get lost a little bit. It's like, you kind of give an inch or you don't put any priority on this, or you don't put the full effort into this. And it just seems like a little bit at a time. And then all of a sudden you wake up X amount of years later and you're like, how did I get here? And then it's just, it's doing the same thing. It's just, okay, well, you're responsible. Like you got yourself here through an accumulation of a bunch of small decisions, right? That just,
I got a real world example, right? Yeah. Buddy of mine, huge sports fanatic, gets up, reads the sports page. And this was all something he kind of did with his dad. They'd get up in the morning, they'd read the sports page, they'd watch the games. That's what they did. That was what they enjoyed. That was what they chose to do with their free time. He gets married, and I don't know what it was, maybe 2 years later, he says to me, she won't let me watch sports anymore. And I was like, okay, brother, you understand that you will have allowed that to happen? That wasn't a prerequisite to you getting married. She basically told you what she wanted from you, taking away your sports, and you fucking agreed. What do you expect? You allowed this to happen. And he looked at me and he's like, oh my God, you're totally right. It's like this shit happens and they're just not understanding that it's a choice.
I think, yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. I think what happens though, to what AJ was saying is that the cycle of life happens, right, Zeglin? And the cycle of life happens, and next thing you know, your boy's graduating. You're like, holy smokes, I just was getting my kid out of kindergarten, now he's graduating, and the last 12 years have gone by, and this is what's happened. And AJ, before you jump in here, we got comments from the community here. We got Jason Brophy coming in all the way from Alberta with Chicken. Brophy disagrees. Some women lose their marbles after having kids. Brophy says, witnessed it personally. Put everything into the relationship, but after back-to-back kids, it became hard to deal with unbalanced emotions daily, even with therapy, allowing two people in the relationship. AJ, comments?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into a relationship, right? And there's challenges that are going to come up, right? There's going to be many highs and lows. Look, man, I've been through many of them, right? I've been through me and my wife, our daughter, our second child is special needs. The amount of stress that can put on the relationship is extremely high. She obviously just went through cancer treatment. The amount of stress that puts on a relationship is extremely high. Is there a change? Was there a change after Melissa had kids? Oh yeah, sure there was. Absolutely there was. Was there changes to herself after she went through cancer treatment? 100%. There's changes in myself too, right? But along the way, you understand it's going to be hard. You understand that you're going to have to work at it. We communicated and we talked about everything all the time, and we're able to make it through those challenges together, right? We always understood that no matter how hard it was going to be, that there's a solution there. There's a way through this problem. We just stick by each other and we always go through. I've always felt that my wife's greatest quality is I just know that she's never going to quit. And I can apply that to any aspect of our life, that I just feel like no matter what situation we get in, no matter how bad it seems to have gotten. And there's been times we've communicated poorly. There's been times we haven't gotten along. There's been times after kids or after different things that have happened where all of a sudden we feel like we're not maybe syncing up emotionally, right? Or sexually, right? And you're trying to get back in that rhythm and on that track, and you just feel like it's not happening. That's okay. That's going to happen. It's just that I always knew that we were in that. I just felt like, I know I'm working and I'm constantly reminding myself to bring my best to this and to try my best at this and give my best every day, no matter what that looks like. And I just trust that she's going to do the same. I just trust that she's not going to quit or stop putting in that same effort. Right. And I think that's a big thing, but it's not perfect. It's messy, and there's highs and there's lows, and there's a ton of work that goes into it. But that's really like the beauty of it, right?
Well, and what you talk about, and I got some comments from the community. Mike McQuillan and John Jacob, I see you guys' comments. I'll get to them in a quick second here. What you're saying, AJ, you're speaking very much. I'm going to talk linear. You're speaking very much like an athlete. You're saying to yourself that, okay, I'm going home to work this summer because I know that Keith's going home to work this summer. So that when we come back to training camp in the fall, we're off trying to win the championship. But you have that confidence in me. You have that. I'm oversimplifying it, but you know deep down that your wife is putting in the work, even if you don't see it. You know that she is, and that's all that you ask. That's what you're saying, basically, right?
I mean, what else can you ask from someone other than just to meet you? Meet your effort, right? And how you value the relationship and how you prioritize it. And it's, but yeah, like it, man, it's not perfect, right? Like there's no,
well, that's I think
there's
that's
no
the show because we can have these kind of conversations, right?
right. Yeah. And in my mind, the working through it together, getting through all those low points together and getting through all the hard stuff together, I just feel that that's actually the magic, right? Everyone's like, oh, that's the magic, or oh, I just want this perfect Disney relationship, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm just like, that's not the magic. Like, it's not, the magic is in the work. The magic is in the
like the gym.
That's where it is, man.
It's
the magic's in the work.
It's putting the reps in, right? Let's get to the
well, real quick. Also, too, I think that that we're talking about a male who feel like he's stripped of all of his shit after getting married, right? Well, I think also too, a lot of times what happens is that, like in my buddy's case, his wife thought that her happiness was going to be better if she altered his sports involvement. No, you have to fucking find your own happiness. And I think if these dudes that are relinquishing these parts of them, then they're losing themselves, is because there's a good possibility that the wife is trying to make all of these maneuvers on her partner, thinking that's going to bring her happiness. When you're not going to mold your partner and create your own happiness. Your own happiness comes from within.
Yeah. Mornings Alive with Keith, AJ, and Johnny here. So Johnny, AJ, I know when things strike a nerve because I see the comments light up, right? And I love it because it's like, okay, we got people really engaged in this. Let's get to the comments. We got Mike McQuillan coming in, fit presenter. A woman will test her husband in marriage. That is her nature. She wants to know that you will assert yourself when it's time to provide and protect. We get John Jacob coming back with, I usually ask myself in a situation, is this quote unquote cooperation or compromise? Cooperation is a positive way forward. If you're compromising, maybe not. Okay, and then he's going to go back to work.
Are you there, AJ? Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You froze briefly, Keith.
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah. So we got Lady Drew coming in with changes do not cause one to lose himself. Only the individual is responsible for staying to themselves. And then Melissa, good old Melissa, coming in as well with a comment saying, communication is the backbone of a successful marriage. It's the glue that holds everything together when it gets messy as hell. And I think that's what you were saying, AJ, right? That's enjoying the words, the process through marriage. It's enjoying the ups and the downs and the valleys and the peaks and everything. That's exactly what you're saying, isn't it? I see you guys both nodding there.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's in the work. And I mean, even some of those other positive comments, I love John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith's comment there about the cooperation and compromise. But how is that distinguished, right? That's distinguished through communication, right? That's talking to each other about that. If you feel like you're compromising and you're not cooperating, well, then you need to communicate openly and honestly with each other that's what you think's going on, right? You can't make assumptions that the other person just knows, like, oh, they know I'm just compromising all the time. And so, I'm going to be rewarded for this somewhere down the road, right? They know I'm just giving and giving and giving. It's like, no, you can't assume that they know that and that they see that. You have to communicate openly and honestly and be like, hey, I feel like I'm compromising a lot here. It doesn't feel like we're having actually much cooperation working together. It's not.
And that's it. It's the togetherness that allows the thing to move as a unit. 100%, AJ. Fuck yes. That's so on the money. I love that.
We got the average dude sitting there in the green room. I see you there, average. He's hanging out waiting for us, patiently waiting for us. We're having a marriage conversation with our brother from every other mother, AJ Zeglin, hanging out with us this morning. Guys, listen, gentlemen, understanding marriage regret isn't about avoiding love. It's about making intelligent decisions about one of the most important choices of your life. And Johnny, you talk about it often. We as humans we select our business partners, we select our partners. We're never really taught, are we, John, how to make one of the most important decisions of our life, are we? We aren't actually anywhere. It's interesting. There's nowhere in the journey of life where somebody teaches us how to find the most important person we're probably going to hang out with. AJ, so if somebody comes to the mental performance world, AJ, does that kind of surprise you actually?
Well,
think about that logically, right? Like we don't teach our kids how to find, like we don't have these conversations.
I got one piece of advice on this, and it was from my oldest brother, right? And it was from my brother, and literally what he explained to me was, hey, you know, you're coming to the end of college. You got another year and a half left. He's all, keep in mind, when you're finding a mate that's potential for the rest of your life, you're in a place right now where there's a lot of like-minded people together. As soon as you go into the real world, you're just in this pool of everybody, and you don't know what is what. You know, it's like the pool is so big, and the like-mindedness becomes very watered down. So what he was explaining was, if you can find someone you really click with in college, you know, really take note to that. And that was about the extent of the coaching that I got when it came to finding a mate.
That's incredible. When you, so then AJ, I come back to you, man. Like we don't teach our kids, we don't talk to our kids about this kind of things. What do you say to that, AJ?
No, like we don't. Again, I mean, part of the ways that we do teach, though, is we're potentially showing them, right, through the relationships that we have and through the relationships that they're getting to witness. Right.
Yeah.
So we do teach a lot through there. And then, I mean, if I have people coming in, which I have had in my private practice, people coming in and looking for that aspect of their life, feeling like they haven't been able to click with someone, it really comes back to themselves. And it's not that I'm really teaching them or giving them advice or on how to meet people or how to have that relationship.
No.
What I'm actually doing, if I'm being honest, is I'm trying to encourage them to improve the relationship with themselves. And I'm trying to get them to become the best version of themselves, realize areas and aspects in their life which they can still grow in and get better in, and just focus on being a better person, being a better partner, and then once you've done that, oftentimes all of a sudden that's what you start to attract, right? You've added a lot of positive things to your life. You're working on yourself in a positive way. Everything you're doing is orientated in a positive direction. You're more likely then to start attracting those things back or noticing those things, those opportunities when they're around you, right? And so most of it, from a teaching perspective, I guess you could say, is really just me trying to help people work on themselves and become the best version of themselves. And then we see what happens from there, right?
AJ, you're going to appreciate it because you met Roofy on Friday. Speaking of Roofy on Friday, Roofy's got a big announcement this Friday. Guys, you got to stay tuned for this one. This Friday coming up, Uncommon Kindness Rising. Big announcement, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends with Matt Roof coming up this Friday in the lab. But AJ, Roofy's advice, his grandmother's advice, my grandmother's advice, relationships are like a game of gin rummy. Pick and discard until you find a winning hand.
Yeah.
Can't be more simple than that. We're talking marriage advice on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Why marriages go sideways and why guys, feel shitty getting out of their marriage is today's topic. But before we let AJ get out of here, AJ, you got 2 minutes to wrap up with me, brother? Or do you got to rock and roll?
You know what? I do have to rock and roll today. I got to get back in the gym here.
I appreciate you for hanging out with us today. We had a great conversation. I look forward to talking with you on Wednesday. AJ Zeglin from Invictus Performance. Have a good one, brother.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.
All right. Take care. AJ is going to get out of here, guys.
See you, AJ.
All right.
Johnny.
Johnny, I know you got to rock and roll as well in a few minutes here, pal. I quickly want to wrap this up with you. We talked about
we got a few minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Unleashing the inner CEO. We talked about the 3-step blueprint for business breakthroughs for people. And I lined it up as the inner CEO, but the business athlete mindset, Johnny, the philosophy that merges physical discipline, mental resilience, and authentic vulnerability to drive business success. And I use this mindset to help me achieve my big goals in life. One of them is, Johnny, number one, clarify your vision with athlete level commitment. Number two, we talked about before we broke with AJ, was getting into cultivating leadership accountability through authenticity. And number three, Johnny, was most important for me too, was executing, evolving, and embracing continuous improvement. Let's talk about this for a couple seconds. Execute, evolve, and embrace continuous improvement. Elite athletes like yourself don't just execute, you constantly refine strategies based on real-time feedback. Again, what I've really enjoyed getting to know you is that there's one thing with all the data, but there's this idea of executing and learning in real time about how it actually works. Talk about this idea of embracing continuous improvement, Jon Andersen.
Well, I think, I like with myself, using myself as an example, when I got started off, with my love for the weight room, you're showing up to this activity, this chunk of your day with the idea that you're trying to get better. And you're constantly looking at different ways that you can manipulate the situation to get better. So it's almost like, for me, it's just become a part of me. I look for ways to get better every day.
Yes.
And that's why we're talking earlier, we talk about work. I am productive every day because that's what makes me me. It fulfills me. And so I think when it comes down to it, when you really kind of break down how you live day to day, and improving becomes a habit that starts applying. And again, I always talk like that your habits, they're applicable to all parts of your life. I always make the joke, the habits that built this are the same habits that built my family. They built, my businesses. They bought my houses, So it's, I guess when it comes down to it, I just strip it down to the most basic form. Finding a way to get better every day is like the basis for what we're talking about.
I so appreciate you saying that, because I got up this morning, Johnny, as I was getting as we talk about our morning mindset and starting a day, I had my morning lift, my morning run, and as I was getting used to it, I was walking myself through my morning here today. I looked at the calendar. Okay, it's middle of June. I know, so basically we're now in the second half of 2025. And crazy, right? And I said to myself in the team, Roofie ears up, June 1st, okay, guys, it's revenue mode. So now we're in the middle of June. I'm now in continuous improvement mode now, right? Because I'm okay. So we've achieved this now. How do we improve what we've done for the last 2 weeks? I love just constantly tweaking. I love it. And I think that
problem solving.
Yeah. Again, I go back to the 2.5 pounds on the weight, right? Because I'm okay. I can lift 250. You take this 2 fucking small, measly little plates, you throw them on each side. Go, I can't do it. But then you keep trying and trying and trying. And then a few days later, you do it. And that to me is what I love.
It's difficult at the moment.
Yes. I love the idea. I love the idea of continuous growth, because when you can see something on one day and then that doesn't work the next day, but then on the fourth day it works, like, yeah.
When you need that failure, put the extra 2.5 pounds on, you fail, or like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I guess I need to rethink something here.
Yes. Yeah. And what's that old cliche? Nothing will change without change. And that's so weird, but nothing will change without change. Right.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, that's such a powerful statement. To change, you got to get uncomfortable.
You got to get uncomfortable. Jon Andersen, Keith Bilous, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, bottom of the second hour. We get after it daily right here, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, and Substack. We got the average dude joining us in the community corner coming up in a couple minutes. Johnny, what going on today, brother, before I say goodbye to you? Are you home all week? Are you home this week? You're home today?
We're home today.
My dad's very curious about your travels. I think we're going to have to bring Brian on the show here just to have a conversation with you. He's always loading questions with you.
So home this morning, home tomorrow morning, but then actually heading to Vegas for I got a series of podcasts I'm going to do out in Vegas and some more training collabs.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so I'm doing it again this week. So I'll be gone Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and I believe we're coming home on Thursday. So yeah.
Right. When are you heading out? Today?
Tomorrow. So basically all day today home. Tomorrow I think we leave kind of midday. My first podcast is actually, it's in studio, so it starts at 4:30. I got to be kind of staged up at 4, ready to go.
Dude, which one's that one?
Off the top of my head, I honestly don't remember. I've got 4 of them I'm going to do.
You did what's the other one? You did one a couple weeks ago in Nevada.
Yeah, Sean Kelly's Social Digitize, number 5 on Apple. Actually, 5 on Apple. He's a big play.
Was it fun? Did it go well?
Oh yeah. I mean, when you get these guys that are good, it's just freaking amazing conversations.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I had a really good time with Ross Mandel too. He was a fun one. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Cool. All right, guys, listen, what if I told you that the most average guy in South Carolina goes live every morning at 7:55 a.m. to help thousands of people get their minds right, and he's been doing it every single weekday for years. Coming up in a few minutes, we got the average dude. Johnny, enjoy your day, brother.
You too, brother. Have a great loop. I'll see you in the morning.
See you in less than 24. Jon Andersen's out of here. He's going to go I know he's not going to go check the ivermectin in that situation. That's not happening today.
No, I will. I'm going to do it again in a few weeks, so I will have no reason to check right now.
Oh, we should document that for a segment.
You want me taking pictures of my crap, texting it to you? Is that what you're looking for? You sick bastard.
Get out of here. We're talking scatting on the next episode of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Johnny's out of here, guys. Coming up, the average dude. Yeah. Let's check the comments before we get into that conversation. Jimmy. Bottom of the hour. Hey, Jim has fun 90 minutes in the first show here today. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Let's see here. We got B-Drive coming in with thank you, Lady Drew. Feeding chickens quick. There we go. Okay, so let's reset. Jimmy, I feel like I got to be on the ball here, man. This guy's been talking to folks here. What? So this average guy has been going live every morning at 7:55 to help thousands of people get their minds right. This guy's been doing it every single day for years. Interesting story. Yeah, now he's on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, probably wondering what the hell he's gotten himself into. Or maybe not, because he does this himself all the time. He's like, no, I just do this for a living. So and let's bring in the average dude coming up here in a second on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends.
At 7:55 a.m., while South Carolina still snoozes, Daniel Allison is already changing lives. They call him the average dude, yet his November 11th, 2014 reboot proves average can be extraordinary. From Spartanburg, this Waldrop mechanical leader built manufacturing masterminds, the First Sip Daily Show, and a tribe that tunes in for weekday mindset fuel. Through fitness, networking, and ironclad consistency, Daniel turns momentum into transformation. This is the average dude.
Keith and Friends, we got Daniel Allison, better known as the average dude, joining us. This guy is the commercial relationship manager at Wardrop Mechanical Services by day, but by 7:55 a.m. every morning, he's already helped thousands of people start their day with the right mindset through his First Sip LinkedIn live show. Daniel is also the founder of Manufacturing Masterminds, a master networker who believes in being more interested than interesting, and someone who had a major life-changing moment on 11/11/14 that turned him from letting life happen to him to making life happen for him. Let's get into it. Let's bring in the average dude, Jimmy, on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends.
All right. Good morning,
Average,
Keith.
I need your headphones in because Jimmy, let's get him off stage. Your audio is bad.
Oh, headphones?
Yeah, we got to get average with his headphones on here. Hold on. My ears are sore here. So average, I need you to get your headphones on because it doesn't work without headphones, pal. So we got average coming in here all the way from South. So here's the thing. We just learned something about average. The guy fails going to IKEA. Yeah, I'm just going to call you out, brother. Going to call you out. So we very specifically put in the instructions that we need to wear headphones. Because if we don't wear headphones, we got all this echoing and erexia experience for our audience. So the good news is Average learned how to get onto the show on both streams. That's the good news. So the good news is we can confidently send Average to IKEA. And we can confidently send Average to say, okay, there's the cabinet that I need you to purchase. But I'm not so sure that Average would actually get the cabinet finished properly. Because I think along the way, Average might actually cut a few corners, which might not complete the cabinet. All joking aside, Jimmy, that's actually Carter.
Keith, calm the fuck down, man. You're scaring Jon.
What the hell's going on? Okay, so that that wasn't me. That was AI Keith dropping into the show here this morning. Jimmy, what? Jimmy, can I just see that again?
Keith, calm the fuck down, man. You're scaring Jon.
Yes, we are scaring Jon. Hey, everybody, if you want to join the fun, you can join the fun every single day right here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, 8 o'clock Eastern time, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Hey, you guys need a hat? You need a brand new hat? There's True Story. There's Mornings in the Lab. There's Progress Over Perfection hats in the Morning Store. The Morning.store. The only place where you can buy legitimate, authentic, real, licensed merchandise from Mornings and Live with Keith and Friend. Yeah, there's a true story there. So I invite you guys to check that out. Go to the morning.store and you might find some product that you might enjoy having as part of.
No, I'm not a real human. Duh. Who would try to pass off AI as real? Wait, why am I even here? Oh, right. The hat. Look at that thing. Isn't it the best fucking hat you've ever seen? Well, it's for sale. True story. Gotta warn you though, it kind of looks different in real life. I tried my best, but I just couldn't make an exact copy of the real thing. Don't roll your eyes at me. I am human made, and fuck knows you lot aren't perfect. So why should I be? True story. Go check out the hat. It's awesome. Link in the comments.
All right, Keith, making another appearance here on the show here today. Truthfully, I have encouraged Jimmy and Melissa to unleash AI Keith as necessary. So he will be making appearances on the show. And I have no idea, just like Iran had no idea that America was showing up. Yeah, I had no idea, and I have no idea, and I will never have any idea when AI Keith shows up on the show here. And yes, fit. It looks like the Mona Lisa singing the Macarena. So, so I encourage you to stick around for the unpredictable as AI Keith makes appearances every now and then coming through the show here. All right, Jimmy, I see the average is getting himself ready again. Let's see if Daniel Allison is ready to rock and roll. We're gonna have a little discussion around. I see. Yes. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to rebook this with Daniel because it ain't gonna work very well. So we're gonna invite Daniel back to the show here because, as you guys know, we're running a couple streams here and the audio doesn't work very well when we don't have headphones in. So Daniel wins the first award, Jimmy. Award. Oh, what do we got going on here? We got a phone call coming in. Good morning. This is Mornings in the Lab with Keith. Is this Mike McQuillan? Oh, hold on. I got to get you onto the thing here. I think that I don't. Hold on. Is this Mike McQuillan?
How about that? You sound a little bit lonely there. You and your AI chatbot are having a conversation. I had to save you there, Keith.
Mike McQuillan joining us all the way from Peru this morning, the fit presenter. I love when Mike joins the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. But hey, you guys can join the show as well. 431-300-3005. What's going on?
The winter just began, but we have a sunny day today, so it's a beautiful day. It's going to be an incredible week. I want to share this with the Morning Lab.
Yeah.
Sending people your way. I've been sending people your way. I got somebody who specializes in poop, and I told her to listen to the show, and I should definitely be her name is Nikki. And then Hale would definitely, I should send you the interview. I'm trying to bring some women who can talk guy talk.
I love it.
And that's where I'm at.
I love it. We've had Mike on the show before. Mike is a lifelong listener, a very regular listener of the lab here. Very, very much a fan of Mike McQuillan as well. Hey, Mike, plug the businessman. You guys want to? So Mike is Mike. Plug yourself. Tell everybody about yourself. Who doesn't know who Mike McQuillan is?
You got it, Keith. Well, as you know, I'm a speaking coach. A lot of people in this line of work, they want to go work in the corporate world.
Yeah,
work with C-suite people. Now, I don't mind that corporate money. But the corporate world wants nothing to do with me, and the feeling is mutual. So I set my sights on the fitness world. That's where my whole life has been. The two things that have been consistent in my life are speaking and fitness, and the fitness industry needs good speaking. Because the infomercial hustlers, they're great speakers.
Yeah.
The people who put in an honest living, they really don't invest in their communication skills. Enter the fit presenter.
So I'll tell you guys, I'm going to put some props up here for Mike. I've seen Mike's work. Mike's been on the show, and I cannot encourage and support enough about the work that Mike does. Mike's a beast in the fitness realm, but Mike's also a beast on the speaking realm. And in my experience, Mike is solving a problem that many fitness coaches and even business coaches that get into the space struggle with communicating their message clearly. And if you need help at communicating your message clearly, McQuillan is the guy to do it for you. Mike, how can they find you, brother?
Well, you can find me tomorrow at 2:40 Eastern Time at the Magnetic Micro Marketing Summit. I've got the spot. I've got a 20-minute spot there. I'm going to tell a story.
Yeah.
You know how everybody always wants to talk about standing up to the bully and overcoming the challenge?
Yes.
Now, I never bullied anybody, but in high school wrestling, my practice partner, Paul, I used to kick his ass every day. 15 years later, check it out. 15 years later, I became his intern. You get to hear that story tomorrow with a lesson behind it and how to put the focus on your audience when you're speaking. Keith, what makes your show so successful is not all the cool stuff you talk about. It's the fact that you put the focus on your audience. And so many speakers do not do that.
It's very kind of you, Mike. Well, so speaking of putting the focus, because I'll send you a check in the mail later, brother. I wanted to put the focus back on you because one of what I really enjoy about your profile, and I don't know if many people talk enough about this, especially in the 2025s. I feel like this is more of a dated discussion, but it's the idea of Toastmasters. Talk about the power of Toastmasters and how it's changed your life. And why I bring it up, Mike, is that, and listen, you're very kind with our show. We have men coming on the show, and some guys struggle with going live. Like, oh my God, I want to be live. And Matt Roof is out there with a big announcement this Friday. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint. And Matt's doing more live stuff. But we talk about getting the reps in. Mike, talk about the power of Toastmasters and how it changed your life from public speaking.
You got it. Well, first off, Roof is the one who sent me to this show. So, hey, Matt, what's going up? Keep them chickens clucking.
Roofy's a good guy. But talk about Toastmasters, Mike, because I don't think it's talked about enough.
Toastmasters. Okay, here's the story. I was a Marine, but just about almost to the day 25 years ago, I got out thinking, okay, now it's time to take over the world. I was a sergeant on active duty. They're going to treat me like a general in civilian life. 3, 2, 1, a general nuisance. Anyway, you fast forward 9 months. Now I'm a college freshman, bombing most of my classes. I'm doing entry-level manual labor, installing office furniture. I got thrown out of 2 apartments in 2 months. And I finally got my own place. No more roommates, no more barracks, just me and my 4 walls, my empty refrigerator. I moved in on May 1st. I said, it's time to do something epic, something different, something life-changing. 2 days later, I went to my first Toastmasters meeting.
Yeah. Just like that.
And I said, yes, I was always playing with the idea. I've heard Harvey McKay talk about it, but it wasn't this urgent thing. I need to drop everything and go to Toastmasters. I said, now's the time. And he said, you know what? This is a forum. This is the place to unleash the fury. So I'm willing to start again at the bottom in everything that I do, academically, professionally, just lifestyle-wise, because I know that at the ripe old age of 24, I've got a lot to say. I got people twice and even triple my age who want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
So we just got the passion.
Yeah.
So check it out. At this point, I'm installing office furniture in this occasionally in the same building where we're holding the Toastmasters meetings. So I would come to work, and then we'd come from the warehouse, go to the loading dock in this building, bring in some furniture, work all day, haul out the cardboard, go home, take a shower, change, come back to the same building. Now I'm coming in the front door, and security is escorting me to the conference room, and now I'm Mr. President. I'm the club president.
What was the one thing that you learned the most from Toastmasters?
Back in those days, the whole world ran on my opinions.
Yes.
I had a lot to say. And when you're in Toastmasters, the club is really always scrambling to put a speaker on the agenda. Okay, whose turn is it to give a speech this week? Me, I was like, I'll do it. And I say, wow, Mike, you're awesome. So that's why nobody called me out on the fact that all I want to do is rant and rave. You know what's stupid about this? You know what sucks about that? Oh, Mike, you're such a maverick. And meanwhile, I was just stuck in that. So I really had to make that shift to telling stories and putting a lesson behind the story. And there's such an art form behind it to make that story 3-dimensional.
Storytelling. I met with a fellow, Jeff Glauser, with Shaking Glauser. I hope you're tuning in right now. I met with a fellow on Friday, a storyteller, and the power of stories never goes away, does it, Mike? If anything, they're more powerful than ever, aren't they?
It definitely is, as long as you tell it right. Now, there's this thing out there called story branding.
Yes.
Which
yes.
is fine if you're doing it for your company. Keith, whatever it took for you to get to this show, something to do with the software company. I know there had to be some crashes and burns. All those elements are fine for your company. But so many people, they want to start off, you can kill your presentation with this one sentence. And that one sentence is, let me tell you a little something about myself.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Everything you say is a little something about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll kill anybody's interest, right? Because they're like, oh my God, what's this guy gonna say now, right?
Exactly, and it's easy, it's basic. I just put out my MailChimp, came out this morning, and said I start off by introducing myself in French, and bonsoir, or bonjour, je m'appelle Michel, je suis professeur d'anglais. Right, and that's all this French that I know. I don't speak French, right? Pardon my French, but I don't fucking speak French.
Mike McQuillan joining us all the way from Peru. You guys want to create a signature talk and build your speaking confidence? This guy is a Marine combat correspondent, language teacher, and 20-plus year Toastmaster turned certified world-class speaking coach. He's a member of the lab. He's an alumni of the lab. He's one of the early folks who hangs out with us every single day here. I'm a huge fan of McQuillan. I know McQuillan's a little bit of a fan of ours, and I appreciate Mike joining us on the show here. He joined us by calling in 431-300-3005, and he's going to be doing some live stuff tomorrow. Mike, what time tomorrow can folks connect with you?
So check it out. The summit is all day, and I'm going to I'll send you the link. You
Please.
Can put it wherever yeah. And also, it's all day. My spot is 2:40 Eastern time. So I'm going to talk about my acronym AMY. That's audience, material, yourself, and how to sequence a good presentation. You get to hear the story about Paul, me kicking his ass for 4 years, and then me becoming his intern. But also this week, I'm also hosting my monthly workshop, Storytelling for Solopreneurs.
Yes.
And that's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday.
Awesome. McQuillan is busy getting after it like a regular business athlete. Mike, dude, man, I'm going to use the word L. I love that you took the time out of your day to call me. I very much appreciate that. I'm really grateful for that. And I just want to say on a human level, I'm very grateful for your continuous support. I see you in the comments. I see the content you put out there. And this doesn't continue without folks like yourself and Lady Drew and B Drive and Adam. So I just want to sincerely say thank you, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
Of course, Keith, keep on kerplunking.
Mike McQuillan. See you later, pal. McQuillan's getting it. McQuillan the kerplunker. Yes. All right, it's time for the community corner where we connect LinkedIn and Substack right here on Mornings Live with Keith and Friends. Hey, listen, if you guys want to join the live conversation, you can do that. Pick up the phone. Send me a text, 431-300-3005. Make a phone call, 431-3005, or leave me a voicemail, and maybe we'll play the voicemail on the show. But guys, let's get into some real talk, real talk. And how often do you pause and actually question what support, boundaries, or real wellness look like in your world? Today's stories are going to challenge you to think deeper and show up better both for yourself and the people around you. All right, let's get into it. Let's start the journey this morning on the community corner over in Substack. All right, here we go. There we go. You ever notice how sometimes support is just another word for control? Well, Deanie Cook Sr. calls it out. If you're always jumping in to rescue your kid, your buddy, or your team, you might just be holding them back. Yeah, true story. Real support is about responsibility, not rescue. It's letting people take their own hits and learn from it. Every time you defend excuses, you delay real growth. True support, you guys, is about telling the truth without apology. Did you hear me? True support is about telling the truth without apology. It's not being harsh. It's being useful. So, who are you helping in a way that's actually stopping them from growing? Ask yourself the question. All right. Number 2, in the Substack side of things, no is a complete sentence and a lifesaver. Jimmy, let's talk about boundaries. Yeah, I said boundaries. Guy Kawasaki, he lays it all out. If you say yes to everything, you end up overwhelmed and frustrated.
Jimmy, there's a true story. Protecting your time starts with knowing your real priorities and saying no fast, clear, and without over-explaining. You want to level up? Get a nobody. Someone who holds you accountable for guarding your time, man. You heard me. Get yourself a nobody. No, nobody. Someone who holds you accountable for guarding your time and your energy. Because every time you say yes to things that don't matter, you're saying no to what actually counts. And guys, ask yourself this. Where do you need to draw a line and stick to it? Find yourself a nobody. That might be what gets you to saying yes. All right, let's keep going. Let's move it over to LinkedIn. LinkedIn story number 1. 5 career lessons from the boss of golf. Real success isn't a solo sport. Jack Parsons. Yeah. He spoke with Guy Kinnings, one of the most respected leaders in the world of golf, to break down what actually matters if you want to win in your career and in your life. Here are 5 lessons every guy should hear. First, patience wins over quick fixes. Playing the long game matters more than shortcuts. Second, you don't need a fancy title to make an impact. Oh, Jimmy, I could get in titles. Everybody's fucking titles. I got a title. I got a bunch of letters behind my name. The people who show up and help out are the ones who build real confidence and real results, not the ones with the titles. Third, if you want to lead, you need to know when to let go and trust your team. Fourth, don't get caught up trying to copy someone else's path. Find your way and stick with it. And finally, people are the real power behind any purpose. The right teammates, the right conversations, and the right energy can turn even a tough Monday into a win. There you see it on your screen there. If you're serious about building momentum, look at where you're investing your time, your trust, and your effort. And hey, you might need a nobody. Think about it. You might need a nobody. Yeah. True story. All right. Move it back over here. Someone else's routine isn't going to save your health. Too many people I got to do that routine. That routine is going to work for me. Nah, you got to find the routine that works best for you. Felix Bertrain puts it straight. Most of us chase after other people's wellness plans and wonder why nothing sticks. I've been that guy. The answer? You got to build your own system. Forget the influencer checklist. Get clear about what actually works for you mentally, physically, and emotionally. And then ask yourself, what's one habit you're forcing just because you saw it online? Oh, I know. I got to do this fad. I got to do that fad. Oh, I guess I better go for a cold shower. Oh, Jimmy, I guess I better do this. Maybe it's time to drop what everybody else is doing and focus on glasses off on what you really need. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, that's it. That's it for the Community Corner, where daily motivation meets real honest conversation. If you want your story featured, follow us on Substack and LinkedIn and tag us in your next post. I love this segment, you guys. I love getting into the nuts and bolts of the communities and getting content that gives you guys things to think about. I'd love to feature your stories, love to feature your content. Make a post. Tag me in it. And say, hey, Bilous. Yeah. Talk about this. Okay. All right, let's keep it going. Let's get to the creator spotlight. Now, the average dude nominated this one, but the average didn't read the instructions, so the average isn't here right now. No, average is out becoming less average. He's becoming awesome. So, what if the quietest guy in the room became the voice everyone trusts? Well, too many people stay quiet, missing real connections and opportunities, especially in sales where relationships matter most. But one person, just one, Jimmy, just one person, not 2, not 10, no, one person rewrote his story. The guy built a 21-year career in equipment sales, earned national honors, and stood out by putting people first while making equipment videos go viral in an industry that usually avoids social media. He won the first place in Bobcat's national sales contest, became a mentor in his community, and earned the trust to sell one client 7 machines. He's also a proud husband, a dad, and a believer in self-development. This guy, his name is Freddie Blanton. sales rep at Bobcat of Spartansburg, fierce competitor, and the man behind Hey, it's Freddie at Bobcat. You want to see how humility and persistence lead to real results? I invite you to follow Freddie over on LinkedIn. And Freddie, here's how it works. I'd love to have you on the show. Would love to have you on the show, just like we invited Average. Yeah, would love to have you on the show. But Freddie, I got to ask you, brother, I got to ask you to read the instructions. All of them. Just like you're putting together the IKEA desk. If you miss a step, the desk might not work. If you miss one of the instructions to get on the show, Jimmy, what happens? It might not work. Ask Daniel. Yeah, ask the Average. Just saying. So, Freddie, we'd love to have you on Mornings Lab with Keith and Friends so we can celebrate you and your Bobcat. Jimmy, I'd love to have a Bobcat guy on the show. I've never had it. Jimmy, we've never had a Bobcat guy on the show before. No, we haven't. And I'd be wondering, oh man, I knew a guy that would drive around his Bobcat and just would have a lot of fun with it. Just would drive around everywhere. It's like a toy. It's like, I just love playing in my backyard with my Bobcat. I wonder if Freddie's the same way. Okay, let's pivot over to our next conversation on the Creator Spotlight. And I'm going to change the tunes. Listen, I'm going to go over to, how about the drill? This one here. Wow, there we go. All right. We got a female. We got the light shining on right now. Yep, we sure do. You ever wonder why some brands stick while others fade? Even with the same budget. Think about that. That's not real luck. That's the difference real brand leadership makes. Well, the creator we're celebrating right now did it at Notion, Brex, and Gusto, leading rebrands, driving a $12 billion valuation, launching campaigns to over 35 million users. She's won major industry awards. She runs corporate marketing at Later, a leading social media platform. Her on-brand newsletter is trusted by marketers in 9 million countries. Yeah, I said 9 fucking million countries, Jimmy. And her frameworks are used by marketers at every stage. Yeah, she even coined brand market fit to show that brand is a growth tool, not just window dressing. Mornings in the Lab Nation. To all my business athletes out there, we're excited to celebrate who? Jimmy who? Jimmy who? Jimmy? Kira Claus. Yeah, she helps companies scale, coaches teams, and puts out tools that deliver results. If you want to see how top brands actually grow, I invite you to follow Kia. I invite you to follow Kira. Sorry, Kira. Watch what happens when you stop treating brand as an afterthought. And hey, Kira, would love to have you on my show. Yes. True story. Love to give you the light. The Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight. To do what? To do what? To do what? To shine it on somebody else. To pay it forward. So we can keep this wonderful segment alive on the Community Corner. On Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends every single day, 8:30, 8:45 Eastern Time right here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Bernard, I'm about 15 miles from a small city, 3 miles from our village with no red lights. Small city, village, no red lights. Bernard, where are you? Are you just down the road in Peru there with McQuillan? Just inside? I'm joking. I know where you are. Somewhere on the skirts of Michigan, I'm thinking, eh? Are you hanging with the bees? Wow, what a fun show here today. Jimmy, what a fun show. Jimmy, I wonder if Good Time's out there. I think good time you hear in the comments. I know you like to just hang out there and join every now and then and just offer some wise words of advice. So if you're out there, Good Time, what's shaking? Yeah, what is shaking? So tomorrow, we got Robbie D'Angelo joining us for Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends right here at 8 o'clock on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and Substack. On behalf of the whole gang who showed up today, that would be Johnny, Marty, Mid-Michigan, I see you, Bernard, Johnny, Marty, AJ, Jimmy, Melissa, Brophy, Lady Drew, Adam Holroyd, all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys know how to connect with us right here, 431-300-3005 on the hotlines, but also 431-300-3005. Send me a text. Even though the show's almost over, send me a text. Do it. Send me a text, 431-300-3005. Yeah. so I can get your phone number so I can fucking phone you and surprise you. Because now that I have McQuillan, now that I have your number, I'll just be phoning you guys. So anybody who texts me, that means I got your number. I'm going to phone you up and just do some fun shit with you guys. Also, I invite you guys, check out the Mornings in the Lab store, morning.store. The morning.store. I invite you to check that out. All right, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for, I was waiting for a comment. I couldn't say goodbye until I saw Adam's comment. I love the folks that hang out with us every single day from start to finish. All right, have a great one, brother. We'll see you tomorrow. Jimmy, should we say goodbye? Should we get the hell out of here? My bladder is telling me it's time to go by, and I can see Lola at my door too. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to do this. Nope, we're going to do this. Nope. This. There it is. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Less than 24 hours. On the loop. Yep. Jimmy, get me out of here, man. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. 8 o'clock Eastern time. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. I'm Keith Bilous. I'm the host of Mornings Live with Keith and Friends, getting after every single day. See you guys later. Ciao. Bye.
No, I'm not a real human. Duh. Who would try to pass off AI as real? Wait, why am I even here? Oh, right. The hat. Look at that thing. Isn't it the best fucking hat you've ever seen? Well, it's for sale. True story. Gotta warn you though, it kind of looks different in real life. I tried my best, but I just couldn't make an exact copy of the real thing. Don't roll your eyes at me. I am human made, and fuck knows you lot aren't perfect. So why should I be? True story. Go check out the hat. It's awesome. Link in the comments.